Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, let us discuss about the case 4 in finding out the normal and tangential stresses acting in an oblique plane using the analytical methods where a member is subjected to both direct forces and as well as a shear force. If we see this case, the case 4 is given like member subjected to like and direct stresses which are mutually perpendicular in directions and accompanied by a shear stress. Let us see the figure. Here we considered a rectangular member subjected to two direct stresses like sigma 1 and sigma 2 accompanied by a shear stress of intensity tau. Now let us consider a cross section which is oblique in nature, making an angle theta with the plane BC. If I consider this section as ABCD, I considered an oblique section which is passing through C and touching AB at E, and it is making an angle theta with the section BC. Now if I see this figure, so here we got EBC and it is making an angle theta here. If we elaborate it, the section EBC, which is like a triangle, here the stresses sigma 1 which will be converted as force P1 here, which is of intensity sigma 1 into area BC into 1, and similarly stresses sigma 2 are converted into force P2 which is acting in this direction with intensity sigma 2 into EB into 1. These two are direct forces. In the same way, the shear stresses of intensity tau is acting here, which will be converted as a shear force Q1 of intensity tau into BC into 1, and the shear stress which is acting on this plane will be converted as Q2, where it is having value of tau into EB into 1. Now we need to resolve all these forces on this plane EC as normal force Pn and as tangential force Pt to this section EC. Let us see one by one. Here I considered three figures which is having forces P1, P2 and shear forces Q1 and Q2. Now I am going to resolve these forces as normal and tangential components to the section EC. This section EC is making an angle theta with section BC. So from here I will get an angle theta here. Now Pn from this case we will get it as P1 cos theta. In the same way I will get Pt as P1 sin theta. Now if we come here, P2 is acting in the downward direction. So here I got the value of theta. From this I will get the value of Pt as P2 cos theta and value of Pn as P2 sin theta. Now going to this third case where shear forces Q1 and Q2 are acting on these surfaces EB and BC. If we resolve these shear forces as normal and tangential components to the member EC, we will get like this is the angle theta. So I will get this normal component as Q1 sin theta and this tangential component as Q1 cos theta. In the same manner, this is the angle theta. Here I got normal component as q2 cos theta and tangential component as q2 sin theta. So from here I am simplifying all these normal forces Pn, which is equal to first P1 cos theta, and from here I got plus P2 sin theta, and then I got Q1 sin theta, and at last I have Q2 cos theta. In the same way, if I combine Pt, I will get it like first case P1 sin theta, and next in second case this P2 cos theta is acting downwards, so I am taking it like minus P2 cos theta, and here for Q1 we are having downward acting Q1 cos theta, so again minus Q1 cos theta, and at last we are having plus Q2 sin theta. From this, now I want to resolve the normal stresses and as well as the shear stresses acting on this plane EC. So first, for the normal stresses, I will consider this Pn equal to P1 cos theta plus P2 sin theta plus Q1 sin theta plus Q2 cos theta, and we already know the value of P1, P2, Q1, Q2, which is nothing but the corresponding stress into cross-sectional area. So here I got the value of Pn like sigma 1 Bc cos theta plus sigma 2 Eb sin theta plus tau into Bc sin theta plus tau into Eb cos theta. Now to get the value of normal stress acting on the member, normal stress equal to normal force by area of cross section. So here I got sigma n equal to Pn by A, which is equal to Pn by area of cross section is EC. So here if we consider this EBC, this is the area which we are considering, EC into 1. So from this I will get equation like sigma 1 into cos theta into BC by EC. BC is the adjacent side to the theta and EC is the hypotenuse. So I will get again cos theta plus sigma 2 into sin theta into EB by EC. EB is the opposite side and EC is the hypotenuse. So I will get again sin theta plus tau into sin theta into BC by EC. BC is the opposite side, EC is the hypotenuse. So cos theta plus tau into cos theta into EB. EB is the opposite side and EC is the hypotenuse. So I got sin theta. So if we simplify it, we will get this value of sigma 1 cos square theta plus sigma 2 sin square theta from case 2 and tau into sin theta cos theta plus tau into cos theta sin theta, we will get it from case 3. So if we simplify according this case 2 and case 3, which is a body subjected to direct stresses and a body subjected to pure shear, then it is a combination of those two cases. If we simplify this, we will get the value of sigma n as sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 cos 2 theta plus tau sin 2 theta, where this sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into cos 2 theta, we get it from this case 2, and tau sin 2 theta we got it from our case 3. In the same way, if we see for tangential stresses, we got Pt equal to P1 sin theta minus P2 cos theta minus Q1 cos theta plus Q2 sin theta. So if we simplify with the stresses, we will get sigma 1 Bc sin theta minus sigma 2 Eb cos theta minus tau BC cos theta plus tau EB sin theta. So for shear stresses or tangential stresses, we will get value like PT by A, area of the cross section. Same here, we will take this member EBC where the cross section of EC is to be considered. So from this, if we simplify it again, we will get values like sigma 1 into sin theta into BC by EC. BC by EC is the adjacent side to hypotenuse, that is equal to cos theta minus sigma 2 into cos theta into EB by EC. EB is the opposite side and EC is the hypotenuse. So here I got sin theta and then minus tau into cos theta into BC by EC. BC by EC is again cos theta plus tau into sin theta into EB by EC. EB by EC is again sin theta. So in the same manner, I am considering this with the case 2 and case 3 where member is subjected to direct stresses and member is subjected to pure shear. So this is the part sigma 1 sin theta cos theta minus sigma 2 cos theta sin theta is the part which we considered in case 2, and minus tau into cos theta sin theta plus tau into sin theta cos theta is the case we considered in our case 3. So if we simplify it, I will get value of sigma t as sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 sin 2 theta minus tau into cos 2 theta. So here this value sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into sin 2 theta, I got it in case 2, and minus tau cos 2 theta, I got it in case 3. So from here we came to know the normal and tangential stresses which are acting in the oblique plane, which is EC in our case. So from this we have to identify when this plane is going to become a principal plane. So for calculating or for identifying these principal planes, we need to take our first assumption where the shear stress acting on the plane is equal to 0. So here I am considering that one. For principal planes, shear stress acting on the oblique plane is equal to 0. So from this I will get value like sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into sin 2 theta will be equal to tau into cos 2 theta. So from this I will get value like sin 2 theta by cos 2 theta equal to 2 tau by sigma 1 minus sigma 2, which is nothing but tan 2 theta equal to 2 tau by sigma 1 minus sigma 2. So from this I got a condition like to find the principal planes, I need a condition. That condition is sigma t equal to 0. From that I obtained a condition like tan 2 theta equal to 2 tau by sigma 1 minus sigma 2. If I represent it in a triangular form, if I consider this is the angle 2 theta, then from tan we have opposite side which is equal to 2 tau by adjacent side sigma 1 minus sigma 2. So from this I will get the value of hypotenuse as under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. If we see here, we will get two cases from these values. Case 1 is like diagonal considered as positive, and we will get the values of sin 2 theta and cos 2 theta. And we will get another case as diagonal as a negative, and the same sin 2 theta and cos 2 theta we will get the values. So from here if we simplify these two cases by substituting the values in sigma n, we will get the value of maximum principal stress or major principal stress and as well as minor principal stress. Let us see the first case here. Here we got sigma n equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into cos 2 theta plus tau sin 2 theta, which we derived from our equation. And now here we got, for getting the principal stresses, we have the values of sin 2 theta and cos 2 theta as 2 tau by under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square, and cos 2 theta equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. Now I am representing these two values in this equation sigma n. So first I am taking sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 cos 2 theta, which is equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 square plus 4 tau square plus tau into 2 tau by under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. So now I am simplifying it. I will get value like sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 2 sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 2 times, that is 4 tau square by 2 into under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. So again I am simplifying it, and I will get value like sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus 1 by 2 into under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. So by simplifying it further, I will get value like sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 plus under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 whole square plus tau square. This is the final value for our sigma n major, which is nothing but our major principal stress. Now if we see for the case of minor principal stress, here we got sin 2 theta as 2 tau by minus under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square, and cos 2 theta equal to sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by minus into under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 whole square plus 4 tau square. If we keep these two values in this equation, I will get a simplified solution like sigma 1 plus sigma 2 by 2 minus under the root of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 whole square plus tau square. So this is the final value for sigma n minor. So if we see diagrammatically, the major and minor principal stresses will act like this on the member. So this plane which is making angle theta will contribute sigma n major, and the plane which is making an angle theta plus 90 degrees will contribute sigma n minor. These two are the principal planes, and the forces or the normal stresses which are acting on these planes are principal stresses. Along with this one, we are also having maximum shear stress. To find the value of this maximum shear stress, we need to consider d by d theta of sigma t equal to 0 from the principle of maxima minima. So we got value like d by d theta of sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into sine 2 theta minus tau cos 2 theta equal to 0. If we simplify it, we will get sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 cos 2 theta into 2 minus tau minus sine 2 theta into 2 will be equal to 0. So here we will get like sine 2 theta by cos 2 theta as sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by 2 tau. So here we will left with tan 2 theta, which is equals to sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by 2 tau. So here if we represent it in a triangular form, we will get it like 2 theta here and opposite side as sigma 2 minus sigma 1 and adjacent side as 2 tau. From this we will get hypotenuse as under the root of plus or minus under the root of sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square. So I'll get the values of sine theta and cos theta, which are sine 2 theta equal to sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by under the root of sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square, and cos 2 theta equal to 2 tau by sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square. So to get the maximum value of this shear stress sigma t max, I am placing the values of this sine 2 theta and cos 2 theta in this equation, which is nothing but the tangential stress acting in the oblique plane. So let us post the values here to get the maximum shear stress. Sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2 into sine 2 theta, which is equal to sigma 2 minus sigma 1 by under the root of sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square minus tau into cos 2 theta, which is equal to 2 tau by under the root of sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square. So on further simplifying it, I will get the value of sigma t max as 1 by 2 into under the root of sigma 2 minus sigma 1 whole square plus 4 tau square. So this sigma t max, which is generally acting in a plane, that plane makes an angle of 45 degrees with the principal plane. So if theta is the principal plane, then the plane which is having sigma t max or maximum shear stress will be equal to theta plus 45 or theta plus 135 degrees. So these two are the planes which are having maximum shear stress in general. So if we recap this as a whole, we got the values of sigma n major, that is major principal stress, and sigma n minor, minor principal stress, and sigma t max, which is the maximum shear stress, like this. So with this knowledge on these principal stresses and principal planes, we will start doing problems in the next video. Thank you.